Do you have a ritual, something small, that marks the passing of another year? Every year on the morning of my birthday, I make my grandmother's biscuits. Not on the evening before, not the day after, on the morning itself, before anything else. The flour and the lard and the buttermilk have to be cold, which means I put the bowl in the refrigerator the night before. I get up at 6, which is earlier than I would get up otherwise, and I mix the dough the way my grandmother showed me in 1967, when I was 11 years old and she was 63, and her kitchen smelled of wood smoke, and something that was specifically and irreproducibly hers. I cut the biscuits with a glass, not a biscuit cutter, a glass, because that's what she used. And I bake them for 12 minutes, and I eat 2 of them with butter while they're still hot. This takes about 45 minutes from start to finish. I have done it on my birthday every year since 1971, which means I have done it 53 times. My name is Roberta Simmons. I am 65 years old. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I am a retired nurse. And I want to tell you why I make biscuits on my birthday, and what I have understood about ritual, over 53 years of doing it, that I could not have told you when I started. My grandmother's name was Bessie Mae Simmons, and she was the person who taught me most of what I know about how to live. Not because she was a teacher in the formal sense, but because she was a person who inhabited her life fully and specifically, and who made you feel in her presence that the particular details of existence were worth attention. The biscuits were not only biscuits. They were the exact combination of a specific recipe and a specific person, and a specific kitchen, and a specific quality of Saturday morning light. And when she made them, you understood that making things carefully and well was itself a form of love. She died in 1971, the spring before I turned 16. She died on a Tuesday in April of a stroke, and the loss of her was the first large loss of my life, and the one that in some ways I have been carrying longest. I remember that morning vividly. The phone call coming, my mother's face, the way the world suddenly seemed to shuffle itself around an absence that had no edges. 2 months after she died, on my birthday in June, I made the biscuits for the first time alone. I don't know entirely why I did it. I was 15, not given to reflection, not someone who would have articulated grief rituals as such. I think I needed her that morning, and the biscuits were the way I knew to reach toward her. It seemed possible, standing in my own kitchen with her notebook open in front of me, that if I did it exactly right, some part of her attention might come back into the room. They were not as good as hers. They have never been quite as good as hers. The kitchen and the light are different, and the lard is different, and I am not Bessie Mae Simmons. But I make them, and while I make them, I think about her, and for 45 minutes on my birthday morning every year, she is in some sense present. I can feel her hands guiding mine, though mine are older now, spotted with age, wrinkled in ways that make me think of her own hands at 70. I remember how she would sing while she worked, not full songs, just fragments of hymns and old tunes she had hummed since childhood. And sometimes, as I'm measuring flour, I find myself humming those same fragments, and for a moment the distance between us collapses. Over 53 years of doing this, the ritual has accumulated layers that I did not intend and could not have planned. For many years it was purely about my grandmother, a connection to her specific presence, made annual and specific. In my 20s and 30s, when I was nursing and raising my son Marcus, and moving through the business of a life in motion, the 45 minutes on my birthday morning was sometimes the only quiet I had in a day, and the quiet itself became part of what the ritual gave. The biscuits became a place to notice my own life, to pause in the middle of the rushing, and remember that I existed as a separate person, not just as a role, not just as the person doing the next necessary thing. I would think about what had happened in the year, what I had managed, what I had loved, what I had endured. When Marcus was old enough to be in the kitchen with me, 5, 6, 7, he began to sit at the table and watch. He didn't participate because the biscuits are specific and I am particular about the process. But he sat there and he watched the way children watch when something matters to the person they love. I remember him at 7 asking why I was doing it the old way instead of the easier way. I tried to explain about tradition and memory and the way small things carry meaning, though I'm not sure he understood. But he stayed. He is 41 now. He lives in Atlanta. He calls me on my birthday morning between 6:30 and 7, when he knows I will be at the counter mixing the dough, and we talk while I work. He'll ask me how many times I've done this now, and I'll tell him, and he'll laugh and say he thinks it's the most beautiful thing I do. This happened not because I arranged it, but because the ritual created a window, and he found his way into it. In my 50s, after my husband James died, the biscuit morning became something else again. Not only about my grandmother, but about the year that had just passed, and the one approaching, about what I had done and what I hadn't and what I wanted. I started writing things down while the biscuits baked, not formally, not in a journal, just on whatever paper was near, in handwriting that was sometimes barely legible because the thoughts were moving faster than the hand. I write about what happened in the year, what I'm grateful for, what I'm carrying into the next one. I've been doing this since 2007, and I have a drawer full of birthday notes that I can go back through, and that tell, in whatever way kitchen table notes tell things, the story of the last 17 years. Sometimes I read through them, and I am amazed by what I had forgotten I was carrying, or amazed at how a fear that felt so present in one year looks completely different 5 years later. The notes have proof that I was here, that I was paying attention, that the life happened, and I was in it. Here is what 53 years of a birthday ritual has taught me, and what I want to pass along. A ritual is a container. It holds in concentrated form the things you want to continue to pay attention to. The people, the losses, the values, the specific textures of what matters. Without the container, those things are present in the background of your life, but not in focus. The ritual brings them into focus, once a year, reliably. The flour and the lard and the cold bowl and the glass for cutting are not magic. They are specificity, and specificity is how you keep things from becoming vague. And vagueness is how love and memory become inaccessible. You think you'll remember, and you think you'll never forget. And then the years pass, and the sharpness wears away, and the person who is so vivid in your mind becomes an outline, and then sometimes barely even that. The ritual prevents this. The ritual says, you will do this thing, and in doing it, you will remember. The small ritual is not a small thing. It is the most reliable practice I know for staying in relationship with the things and people and values that you want to remain central. That you want to remain central not only in your head, but in your hands, and your kitchen, and your morning. My life has changed dramatically 53 times over. I've been a daughter, a nurse, a mother, a wife, a widow. I've lived in 3 different cities. I've lost people I loved deeply. I've experienced the particular weight of aging, the things my body can no longer do, the friends who have gotten sick, the awareness that the years ahead are finite in a way the years behind are not. But through all of that, I have made biscuits on my birthday morning. I have done it when I wanted to and when I didn't want to. I have done it when I was joyful and when I was grieving. I have done it in every kitchen I've occupied, and the doing of it, the small ceremony of it, has been the one constant that has helped me understand that I am still Roberta, that I am still here, that the love that started 60 years ago is still present. I am 65. I will make the biscuits on my birthday morning this year, as I have every year since 1971. They will not be quite as good as Bessie Mae's. Marcus will call at 6:45. I will eat 2 biscuits with butter, still hot, and I will write something on whatever paper is near. And my grandmother, who died when I was 15, and who has been present every birthday since, will be present again. The ritual holds her. It holds him. It holds me. It holds the specific and irreplaceable way we were together, and the way we are together still, across the distance and across the years. This is what a ritual is. This is what it does. It is not complicated. It is only specific and repeated. And specific and repeated is how you keep the things that matter from becoming less than they are. If you have a ritual, something you do, something small that marks the year, I want to hear about it. Leave a comment. Tell me what it is and who it's for and how long you've been doing it. Subscribe to this channel and stay. Hit the like button if this gave you something, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that small and specific is not insignificant. Share it with someone who is still figuring out how to carry the people they've lost. A book that helped me understand the value of ritual was Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. It is not a self-help book. It is a book about plants and reciprocity and gratitude. But it is, at its core, about the practice of attention, and it is beautiful. The link is in the description. My name is Roberta Simmons. I'm 65 years old. I make biscuits on my birthday morning. It is the most important thing I do all year.